What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Evans Boys YouTube channel. Today we're gonna go over something that's just controversial. Check these out and let's get into this right away and talk about it. And then I'll show you guys some fish catches. Peace. All right, guys, let's talk about this, all right? This is probably gonna be one of the most controversial topics that I talk about. You know, I just wanna see, it's not to badmouth anybody, any company, but it's more along the lines to push companies to be more innovative than what we're seeing out there. First of all, let's take a look at this. We're looking at two baits here, right? So you have the bandito bugs and you have these hag baits called cheat code. Yeah, they're the cheat code. These are 3.4 inches. So let's just open them up, take a look at them, and see the similarities or the differences that are in there. All right, guys. So here it is. Here's the bandito bug. These are the juniors. This is the 3.3, and these are the hag baits. Cheat code, which is 3.4. Let's just take a look at them. So here's the bandito bug. These are probably one of our favorite ways to fish with a creature bait. They have these like little lips on the claws and on these little appendages, and that give it a little bit better water displacement throughout the whole thing. It's got these nice ridges on it which give a little more water displacement, and they got these two little antennas right in the middle that kind of move around and stuff. So let's take a look at the hag bait. The hag bait is very, very similar in design. You got these two appendages here. You got those little lips on each side of the appendages, and you got that on the claws, right? The only thing you don't have is the two little antennas hanging out, but it has the same kind of ridges, has that middle ridge on both sides, has this like little head on it, little bit different in shape, maybe a little bit longer. So, you know, this one's a little bit thicker, has a little bit different on the claws. You know, the claws are a little bit bigger. In reality, for me, these are pretty much almost the same bait. They might do a little bit different. Maybe the antennas are gone, but where is the innovation come from creating a new creature bait rather than something that's already been done before, right? So in all, these are very similar. I don't know who came first, and there's other baits out there that have done this with the claws before, and maybe they, you know, there are a lot of things out there are similar, but why don't we have a little bit more innovation out there rather than just copying? And that's one of my whole things that why this video I think is going to be controversial. I mean, there is a ton of things you can do with creature baits, right? You don't have to do the same thing. But in this case, we have two that are very similar, and there's probably more. You could probably come up with a whole handful of them that are extremely similar. These ones just kind of popped out to me. All right, so next up, I mean, it's the Whopper Plopper, right? This is a prop bait, or, you know, these guys were the first ones to come up with it. The, you know, river to sea. I might even be wrong on that. I don't even know if they are the first ones to come up with it, but, you know, they're the ones that are most well known. So then you start bringing in other baits right here. Look at that. You know, it's almost the same thing. A little bit different shape on the body. Maybe, I don't know, you know, pretty similar. I mean, they almost look identical, have the kind of the same things. Maybe this little piece in here is changed. So let's bring in a third company right here. Look at that, another prop bait. I know there's only so many things you guys can do with a prop bait, you know, and make it function the same. It all has to have the same type of things. I did see at this last iCast that they're coming up with different types of prop baits, and that's what I'm talking about. For years, we're just regurgitating everything that's already been done before. And so for all those new bait companies, or even the bigger companies, I'm challenging you guys to be more innovative on what you guys are coming up with, rather than regurgitating the same thing. Now, I will say I prefer the Chapo versus the river to sea Whopper Plopper. I don't know why. I just do. I think maybe the bigger body on it is more appealing to me. They all plop, they all do the Whopper Plopper thing, right? Where can we innovate with these? One of the last things I want to talk to you is about the bladed jig, all right? The Jackhammer. This happens to be a Jackhammer. You know, it's cool. It's got the hand-tied skirt on there, got the great hooks, really thumps. This is also, I think it's a 1/2 ounce, you know, got a great blade. It's attached to the head, which I know that the patent just kind of ran out on this, so more and more companies were gonna see this. Yeah, so let's take a look at another one. Check this one out. This is a Hag's bait, and it's the Hurricane in a 1/2 ounce. I mean, almost identical. Almost identical. Let's take a look and see what else it has on it. All right, so here we go. We have these two baits here. These are almost identical. This is the Hag Baits Hurricane. You know what? And it didn't cost as much as a Jackhammer. You know, I love fishing with a bladed jig, and the Jackhammers, they just do it for me. They work. I've caught more fish off of Jackhammers, but I've also caught more fish, you know, a lot of fish off of just the normal chatterbaits, right? But check this out. Here it is, the Hag Baits Hurricane. I believe it is in a 1/2 ounce. Yes, look, it's even stamped on the bottom, 1/2 ounce there. You know, you got the same head, you got the same, it says 1/2 ounce, same color. I mean, the blade's different, yeah, but how much more is there? And I get it. There's only so much you can do with a bladed jig, but I believe that with innovation, you know, bass fishing would change. Rather than just making copies of something, let's innovate. Let's innovate stuff. If I knew how to design baits, I'd be out there. But this is what I see, right? Maybe a little bit different on the head shape. Look at the hook. I know this one has a hook keeper, and that's what they kind of boast about. But, you know, the Jackhammers have hook keepers too. You know, you can see it poking out right there. So let me show you something. This one is a Japanese brand. I believe this is a Jackal. They're not making these ones anymore. So this is I think these are the Durabrand bladed jigs. But check this out. So it's got these two little wires right here. I don't know if you guys can see those. And this helps as like a weed guard. So when you're coming over the top of grass, this thing's just coming along, right? It fishes really nice. Now the blade is a lot smaller than on the other ones. And guys, this thing thumps right off the bat too. And so you have a little bit smaller blade, a lot smaller blade in fact. The head shape's a little bit different, you know, and I believe this one's just a little bit lighter than these. I think this might be a 1/4 ounce. It is hand-tied skirt on there. Little bit different in the way that skirt sits. You got some longer ones, you got shorter ones. And so it still looks like a bladed jig, but they went to that extra mile of putting these little weed guards in here, which I feel make a difference. I come over weeds pretty nicely without getting hooked into those. So here's 3 different style of bladed jigs. You know, they're all similar, yes. I think a couple of them are a little more similar than the others. And so I don't know who came first or what. I believe Z-Man was the original. They made the Jackhammer. And then I know Hags is just a little bit more newer. And these guys, they're not making this one anymore. I mean, look, they have a different style of hooking it up. And I've seen ones where you could change blades now. And that's what I'm talking about, is the innovation. You know, rather than regurgitate the same thing, let's innovate. So if you guys, I know this is going to cause some controversy. I'm not knocking any bait company here. I'm here to push the industry into making better baits. All right, not gimmick baits, but better baits. Things that will help us. There it is, guys. You guys know what these are. They're all stick baits, right? And one of these is the original Yamamoto Senko. You know, they're all similar. They all kind of do the same thing. You know, this is the original Yamamoto Senko. I think it says it on On the side here, these are the tournament ones, and these are a local bait company. You know, the stick bait that was created by Gary Yamamoto, you know, thinking of it as a pen, the shape of a pen. And as I recall, most of the people, as per what Roland Martin said, they told Gary Yamamoto himself, that's never going to catch a fish. And look, it's the #1 catching bait out there. I get it. Good designs. You know, everybody's going to mimic them. But where is the innovation? When did Gary Yamamoto say, I'm going to create this bait? Whether he knew he was going to create the best bait to ever catch fish or not, he took a chance and he made these baits, right? So where are those people out there that need to innovate? I'm always looking at baits. All of this stuff that we have here, I've purchased myself. So I give you guys my honest review on these things, and I want to hear you guys, what you guys have to say. Please let me know. And like I said, I'm not sponsored by any of these companies, and I purchase, I'd say probably 98% of all the stuff that I review, I've purchased with my own money. And so I am going to give you my honest review of these baits. All right, guys, so I'm going to show you guys a couple fish catches. So peace. Oh, got one. Off the fluke? No way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. A crappie. No. Oh, look at that. Look at my crappie. Oh, yeah, huh? Dude, I was just heart beating it, dude. Just, and I saw it take off.
Fish on.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, that dice is on fire. Oh, that's a bass.
I got a bassisi. Oh man, he's firing pretty hard. Oh.
Is he a good one?
Oh my god, is it the same one?
No.
Oh man.
Bassisi. What? Oh, here we go. I think I waited too long on that one. This guy's fighting pretty good. Ooh, right in the top. There we go. Check that guy out. Boom, nice little fishy. Good. All right, buddy, you ready? Here we go.